Good evening, everyone. So, welcome back in the session of motivation. Now, in the last session, we have discussed about one of the theory of motivation. Like, if you remember, we started with the theories of motivation. What are the different theories of motivation? In that, we have done the first very important theory of motivation, that is Maslow's hierarchy of need. We'll just revise that before going to the next theory, that is Herzberg's theory of motivation, which is also known as two-factor theory. Now, in this, Maslow's hierarchy of need, he has basically told that the needs of the people can be divided into five different things, and it has shown this pyramid as an example. So, how this pyramid works is first it starts with the bottom line, that is psychological need, that is breathing, food, water, sleep, home stores and excretion. It says that these are the basic needs for which the person works. Whenever you will ask a person that what is the reason for him or her to earn, he'll say to fulfill the basic needs. And the basic needs are breathing, food, shelter, home, clothing. That comes in the first model, that is psychological needs. Second is, if you achieve these needs, once you achieve these needs, then second factor, you move to the second factor, that is safety needs. Now you will look for your security of the security, your job satisfaction, job safety, resources, your family safety, health, property. These are the next safety needs for which you will be moving forward once you achieve your basic needs. That is the first one. When you achieve the safety needs, the second need, then you are being directed to the third need, that is love and belongingness. Love and belongingness means now you want to have your friends, you want to go spend time with your family, you want to have your social culture in the organization or outside the organization. These comes in the love and belongingness, where you get that sense that yes, I belong from this group. These are the group of people who are around me, by whom I am being surrounded. So this comes under the third thing, that is love and belongingness. Next comes is self-esteem need. Self-esteem means confidence, achievement. Now you have achieved all the things. You have achieved the basic needs, respect, security, safety is there, love, belongingness is there. So now what comes is self esteem, that is confidence, achievement, respect, recognition by others. These things are the third thing. The fourth, that is self-esteem need. You will be focusing on achieving these needs. Once you achieve this, you move to the last need, that is self-actualization need. That is creativity, problem solving, acceptance, where you will just focus that now I have achieved everything. Now I'll just show my best side. I'll show the things which are hidden in which I am very best. That is self-actualization. You will start realizing that yes, this is my passion, this is the best thing I can go for, this is the in this thing I am best, I perform best. That is the last need. So Maslow believed that once a person starts with the first need, slowly moves to the fifth need. Once all the below four needs are satisfied, he moves towards the last need, that is the actualization need. And these are the five needs which every person has, and these things motivate them. Once you have achieved the motivation, your basic needs are fulfilled. Your next motivation factor is going to be safety, the need of safety. Once you achieve this, your next motivation factor becomes love and belongingness. Once you achieve this, your next factor becomes self-esteem. Once you achieve self-esteem, your next factor becomes self-actualization. This is how the Maslow's theory, need hierarchy theory works. Now today, after this, we are going to discuss about some of the criticism of Maslow's theory. Criticism, like, see, everything has criticism. So here we'll be discussing about the criticism, advantages and disadvantages of Maslow's theory. Now, what are the criticism? Needs doesn't follow hierarchy. They believe that these needs are not going to follow any kind of hierarchy. There is no such hierarchy which is being followed by the need. For some, it can be basic need, that it then it can directly go to self-esteem need, it can go to self-actualization need, or it can go to safety need. So there is no such hierarchy which is being followed by each and every person. It depends on person to person that which things motivates them first and which motivates them second. So the hierarchy which is followed in Maslow's theory, everyone doesn't agree with that. Everyone believes that need doesn't have a hierarchy. It's your personal choice that what factor motivates you first. Second is the theory is difficult to test. Why it is difficult to test? Because different people will have different hierarchy. For some, basic need is the first priority, and then self-esteem need is the second motivation source. But for others, that may not work. So here, the theory is very difficult to test. We cannot find the final conclusion that yes, this is the way, this is how we can test this theory. That thing is not available. Next, his research on self-actualization was based on a very limited sample of individual. This was also noticed that on the person whom he has selected, that was very limited. It was limited to a group of people. The sampling was very limited to find out whether self-actualization need actually is there in the hierarchy or not. So this is all about the criticism of Maslow's need hierarchy theory. Next comes the advantages of Maslow's need hierarchy theory of motivation. What do you think are the advantages? Don't you think that is very simple to understand? There are 5 different levels which have been told, and if you satisfy level 1, you move to level 2. If you satisfy level 2, you move to level 3, and so on. So don't you think it is very simple to understand? Obviously, yes. It is very simple to understand the Maslow's need hierarchy theory because it gives you clear description of the 5 hierarchies. It shows that it moves from bottom to up, and it has to even given that in first, what are the needs, what are the things which are being checked. If those are satisfied, those needs are satisfied. In second, what needs are generate, what needs motivate the person. So everything is very clear and very simple to understand under this theory. Second says it takes into account human nature. If we talk about human nature, what is a basic need first? Why we are earning? If I ask any random individual about why you are earning, why you are doing a job, the first answer which 80% of the people will give is just to satisfy, just to fulfill the basic need of clothes, shelter, food, air for us as well as for our family. That is the human nature. That is what every individual wants, and that is for what every individual is working, is searching for a job, is searching for a source of income so that he or she can satisfy the basic needs. If someone has already satisfied, then the second thing comes is I want to have some status. I just want to have a secure future. I want to live a luxurious life. We're slowly moving to the next thing. So if You will select some individual if you'll ask them that few things are actually common for all the people. Next, relevant in all fields. It is relevant in all the fields, as in whichever profession, whichever job, whichever field you take, whichever field you talk about, it is applicable in all the fields. It can be adopted and implemented in an uncomplicated manner. See, when it is simple to understand, there's no complication. There are no complicated things which have been added in this hierarchy theory. It has been explained in very simple words, in very easy, by very easy method, making everything crystal clear. He has given no scope for any misunderstanding to happen. So it can be adopted and implemented in an uncomplicated manner. Valuable approach of thinking about human motivation and incentives, identifying similarities and qualities, difference among them. Valuable approach. A good approach has been taken, taking into consideration all the human motivation and incentive factors. It has taken into consideration all the things which motivates an individual to achieve something, or which act as a motivation source for all the individual. It has identified the similarities, the qualities, differences among the group of individual. It has considered everything, and then finally he has come up with this theory. Now, again, advantages is always followed with some disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of Maslow's theory of motivation? Disadvantages says, not all individuals think in the same way. Person to person, individual to individual, the thinking differs. The way what I'm thinking may be different from what other is thinking. Maybe in an organization, there are two different individuals, Mr. Aryan and Mr. Zunaid. For Mr. Aryan, for him, what matters is his safety. That is his first motivation level. If he thinks that yes, here job safety is there, it is, I can provide safety to my family, and this job is giving safety to me also, there is a safe environment for him, that act as a motivation source to work in that organization. But for Zunaid, for Mr. Zunaid, who belongs from a family which is an average family, which is not living a very luxurious life. For him, the motivation which is driving to continue the job, to stay in this job, can be the source of earning, can be the money he is earning to satisfy the needs. So again, it differs. You cannot say that all the individual will move to the next level once the second level of motivation will only come when you have achieved the first level of motivation. That doesn't apply to each and every individual. Cultural difference. On basis of culture, this theory may differ, may not work for all different cultural people. Difficult to measure. Yes, it is very difficult to measure, in the sense that when it comes to measuring, how you are going to measure, like what is the success? For some, the first approach is not acceptable. For them, the basic need is not the criteria for working. For some, it can be the safety need. They are not that doesn't act as a motivation source. So you cannot measure when they all are not on the same level, same ground. The model is too unsophisticated, as the same product and services can gratify a number of needs at once. It is very unsophisticated model. So these are some of the disadvantages due to which people think that this theory is not applicable for each and every individual in the organization. This motivational theory doesn't work for all the individuals. Next, Herzberg theory of motivation. What's that? You can see two things. One is maintenance and hygiene factor, and second is motivational factors. So basically, Herbal's theory of motivation works as a two-factor theory, that is theory X and theory Y. Two-factor theory because there are two different things which he has considered to motivate the employees. First is the motivational factor. Second is maintenance and hygiene factor. Now, how maintenance and hygiene factor are important? How these factors are important? What do you think? If these are good in the organization, they are going to uh, make the organization retain the employees. They act as a motivational source. Do you really think that these hygienic factors act as a motivation source in the organization? For me, they doesn't. But I want them. They don't motivate me to stay in the organization, but I want them. Why? So why, like, they don't act as a motivation, but still I want them? Why? Think. I want you to come up with the answers. Come on. You can use the chat box. Okay, for example, there's micromanagement in the organization. So that comes under, one second, yes, that comes under maintenance or hygiene factor. So micromanagement is there in the organization. Now, what happens? No, micromanagement, if the micromanagement is not there, it doesn't act as a motivation force, but it is not going to demotivate you. And if the micromanagement is there, it is going to demotivate you to work into that organization. So let's study in detail about Herzberg theory of motivation. Herzberg believed that proper management of hygiene factor could prevent employees' dissatisfaction, but these factors could not serve as a source of satisfaction or motivation. Let me just take you to the important words. Hygienic factor could prevent employees' dissatisfaction. It is simply saying that this theory is based on two different things. One is hygiene factor, one is motivational factor. Hygiene factor doesn't act as a motivational source to hold the employees, but it can prevent the employees from dissatisfaction. Try to understand the term. It is making the employees satisfied. If you follow good hygiene factors, if you have good hygienic factor, if you have proper management of hygiene factor, it is going to make employees satisfied. But that doesn't act as a source of satisfaction or motivation. It's not going to dissatisfy the employees, but doesn't motivate the employees to stay in that organization. That is why we say hygiene factors are the factors which are very important in the organization to prevent the employees from being dissatisfied with the culture, with the working, with the leaders in the organization. Good working conditions, for instance, will keep employees at job and won't make them work harder. They're going to keep the employees at work. They'll retain that employees, but they won't force them, they won't motivate them to work harder. It is not improving their productivity, but it is keeping the employee at the job. Poor working conditions, which are job dissatisfiers, may make employees quit. Now see, these hygienic factors are not motivating them, are not acting as a source of satisfaction, But still, if they are not there, they will make the employees to quit that job. Just think how important these factors are. That's why in an organization, when you search for an organization, you always check for a good working culture. That is definitely not going to motivate you, but that will help you to stay in that organization for a longer duration. That may not focus, that may not force you to work hard, that may not increase your productivity, but the organization can retain you. Understand the line again. I'm again repeating the same line. That is, good working condition will keep employees at job, but won't make them work harder. They're keeping employees at job, but they're not making them work harder, increasing their productivity, efficiency, making them more efficient, more dedicated towards the work. It's not doing that. It's just keeping the employee at work. But, but if working conditions are poor, which act as a job dissatisfier, employees may quit the organization. It's very important for you to understand this factor. If you are seeing yourself as a leader in future, you have to keep in mind this thing. You have to provide your staff, your employees with good working conditions. Many people have this assumption that when they are not going to act as a motivation source, when they are not going to increase the productivity, why to provide a good working environment to them? But see, if you want to retain the talent, if you want to retain the good performers of the organization, you will have to focus on good working conditions. Next, a job with many satisfiers, which usually motivate workers, provide job satisfaction, and prompt effective performance. If you have many satisfiers, we'll discuss about these satisfiers in the future slide, but many satisfiers like job security, promotion, growth, motivation, all these things are there, then it is going to provide you job satisfaction. It is going to motivate your team, your workers, and improve their efficiency and performance in the organization. According to Herzberg, a manager who wants to increase employee satisfaction need to focus on motivation factors or satisfier. You have to take care of the good working condition. Okay, that is very important. But if you want to improve your efficiency, then you will have to focus on motivating factors or satisfiers for the employers also. Now here, Herzberg's motivation theory, which is also known as two-factor theory, argues that there are two factors that an organization can adjust to influence motivation in workplace. What are the two factors? That is, first is motivator factor, second is hygienic factor. Motivation factors are which can encourage employees to work hard. Motivator factors are usually going to push the employees, motivates the employees to give more productivity, to come out with best result, to show their work, to show their efficiency, performance. Everything is going to improve. They're going to be very dedicated for the organization and they are going to show best and good results. That is possible because of motivator factors. Hygienic factors means they won't encourage employees to work harder, but they will cause them to become unmotivated if they are not present. They're not motivating, they're not making you work hard, they're not increasing your employees' efficiency, but if they are not there, they will unmotivate them, the employees will quit from that job, they will not be willing to continue their job, they won't be satisfied with that job. So hygienic factors are equally important as motivating factors. Herzberg concludes that there are certain factors that tends to be consistently related to job satisfaction. And on the other hand, there are some factors which are consistently related to job dissatisfaction. Job satisfaction factors are motivators. Job dissatisfaction factors are hygienic factors. Very simple and a clear line. This theory has taken into consideration the real corporate world, the real organizational challenges. It has surveyed a lot of people who have told that yes, when there are good hygienic factors practice, when there are good corporate culture, when they follow good practice in the organization, we tend to stay in that organization for a longer duration. But even if they motivate us, they pay us good salary. But if hygienic factors are not there, they plan to switch the job, they plan to quit the job. Herzberg identified key motivators in the workplace and demotivators. The motivators are the motivational factors. Demotivators are hygienic factors. We will be discussing about these motivators and demotivators in detail also, but let's have a quick glance on the motivators and demotivators factors. The motivator factors include advancement. Advancement means advancement of technology, advancement of the working style. So this is motivator. This acts as a motivator. The nature of work, what nature of work you are being given, what nature of work you are doing, and what work. Is it a challenging work which is motivating you? So that comes under the nature of work. Responsibilities. There are some person who feels motivated when they get responsibilities, when they are being given the responsibility to perform the task. With that, they feel motivated. Achievement. What are your achievements? If you have really achieved something, or if your work, if you are giving your efficiency, if you are doing your best, that is going to give you some achievement, that again act as a motivation factor. Growth. Where do you see yourself growing in that organization? If you see yourself growing, if you see growth perspective, the organization is growing, and so are we as an individual. That as a motivational factor. Recognition. Is the organization giving you recognition for the work you are doing? Is the organization recognizing your talent? Is the organization recognizing your decisions? Is the organization recognizing your efforts, your work? If yes, these are the motivational factors. What are demotivators now? Company's policy. That comes under hygienic factor. If company's policy are very rigid, they are not open for flexibility, and the company's policy are not giving the space for the employees to grow, that is demotivators. Quality of leadership. What type of leader? Bureaucratic leader, autocratic leader? No one will love to work under such a leader who just want to take all the decisions, who doesn't have good bonding with the followers, who doesn't involve the followers in the work he or she is doing. So the quality of leadership, what type of leaders you have in the organization, or how leaders are leading the team, that can act as a demotivator if the leaders are not good. The pay you are getting, salary you are getting, that act as a demotivator. If you increase the salary, that doesn't go to motivational factor, right? Promotion goes to motivation, recognition go to motivation, but increase in pay doesn't go to motivation. But if you will increase that, that will not be a demotivator now. Relationship. What kind of relationship, what kind of bond you have within the organization, that can act as a demotivator. If you don't have good relation, bonds are not good within the team members. Working condition. What's the working condition? Healthy working condition, balanced working condition, overloaded with the work. What exactly it is? So again, It acts as a demotivator if you do not practice good working condition. Next is status. Is college, is this organization giving you some status? Are you holding some status in the organization, within the organization, outside the organization, for the job role you are doing, for the position you are holding? That can act as a demotivator. Security. What is the job security? If you have a secure job, if they give you security about the job, it doesn't go to motivator. It don't act as a motivator, but it will be deleted from demotivators. So these are some of the factors which are included in motivational factors, and the hygienic factor which are included, which act as a demotivators for the employees. Any doubts still here? If you have any doubt, if you want to ask anything, just feel free to write it in the chat box. You can ask or you can write in the chat box, whatever you want. Anything you have? No. Okay. Yes. Okay, you want me to explain that need hierarchy, Maslow's need hierarchy theory again? Okay, let me just share the screen for that. See, basically it follows 5 different needs. It says that people, every individual have 5 different needs. Once they fulfill first need, second need act as a motivation for them. If they fulfill second need, third need act as a motivation for them, and so on. So in this, the first need is the basic need, the psychological need, which includes breathing, food, shelter, water, a good place to live. These all things are included in the first hierarchy, first theory, which is the first motivational factor, that is psychological need. If your psychological needs are fulfilled, if your basic needs are fulfilled, you switch to the second need, that is safety need. The security of body, employment, resources, family, health, and property. Now you focus, these things act as a motivation, and you complete focus in how to bring those things, how to give that security, give that safety to ourselves as well as to our family. Once you satisfy this need, you move to the third need. The third need is love and belongingness. Now here you want to have a social status within the organization. You want to have a good friendly culture, friendly circle around you with whom you can sit, you can enjoy, you can share your personal views, professional views. You have a bond. Basically, we can say that you have a circle of friends, families around you to share your thoughts. If you satisfy this need, then you move towards the self-esteem need, which means the need to achieve some status, respect by others, respect for others, achievement, confidence, recognition, awards, all these comes in the self-esteem need of need hierarchy theory. Once you achieve this, the last need comes is self-actualization need. Acceptance of the fact that yes, I can do that. Now here you start doing something in which you feel that I know this thing, I can master this thing. So you start moving in that direction. And this is the final need. Once this need is satisfied, once you're motivated, once this gets fulfilled, you are done. Everything is achieved. You have achieved everything. All your needs are fulfilled. There is no more motivation source for you. Is this clear now? Okay. So now when you're clear with the self-actualization, sorry, not self-actualization, the Maslow's need hierarchy theory. The second theory which we have discussed was Herzberg theory, that is the two-factor theory, where one factor, that is motivational factor, act as a motivation or satisfaction source for the employees. And the second factor, that is demotivators, though they doesn't motivate a person to stay in the organization, but definitely if they are not there, they are going to demotivate the employees, and the employees may quit from the organization. The difference between both of them is it is dependent on 5 different levels, and Herzberg theory is dependent on only 2 factors. One is how to motivate the employees and how to provide them with the best hygienic environment, best policies, best best policies, along with policies, giving them the best pay, providing them with the best leadership, relations, good working condition, security, and status. If all these things you are going to give to the employees, then yes, they are going to have a satisfactory working place. Now, if this combines with the motivational factors like achievement, recognition, the work you are doing, like the variety of work, the challenges you are facing, the responsibilities you are getting. If you get all these things along with that, then yes, you are giving your best. So with this, we have completed, we have done this today's session. Now in the next session, we'll be discussing in detail the motivational factors, the hygienic factors, and then the critical analysis of this theory and what are the useful steps for implementing this theory on workplace. So we'll be discussing all these things in the next session of motivation. We are done for the day. Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your evening. And we'll see you tomorrow with the next 5 sessions scheduled for tomorrow. Any doubts? If you have, you can come to me in the next session also. Bye-bye. Take care. Enjoy your day.